Welcome to Subramani. So I wanted to talk to you about equity investing checklist. This is something which I've written long ago, maybe sometime in 2016, about 4 years ago. So I thought I will tell Mr. Charlie Munger that I had this checklist before I knew that he had a checklist. So what do I look for in a company before I invest? There is something which I look for in a company before I invest, during my investments, and the reason to sell. So here I'm talking largely about company. What do I look for in companies before I invest? Well, I look for good quality management, and that means they should have treated the small shareholder well. To me, that's all, because I really won't know how well the company is run, whether there are Me Too cases, how well the employees are treated. I don't get into all that. I largely want to ask, are they thieves, or will they leave enough meat on the table for the small shareholder? This is exactly like asking, are they lions? Because a lion would eat maybe 20% or 30%, even a tiger would eat 20-30% and leave the rest to the hyenas and wolves and the vultures, right? So some of them would pick up the meat, some of them would pick up the bones. We are in the second category. We are not the hunters, right? So we are the people who the hunters are the people who go out and create the wealth. Please remember, wealth is not created in the stock market. The stock market just recognizes the hard efforts put in by the promoter to run the company. Now, will they leave enough meat on the table? I'm a vegetarian, but question is, will they leave enough for us on the table for us to eat after they have eaten? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking too much about their virtues and all that. I wouldn't know. For me, knowing that an individual is not corrupt is very good, but that's not sufficient. Because, for example, in a bank, I don't want a guy who is not corrupt, nor will he lend. If he will not lend at all, what is the point, right? So to me, it's important that he is not so bad that he will not let me earn money. Okay, what all do I look for? I am very biased. I look for companies based in the West or based in the South. These are the places from companies with which I have earned money. So to me, even in the South, I have some biases. I do not buy companies with headquartered in Hyderabad. This is a past experience, has not been good. I've lost money with Nagarjuna Group, and I've never liked the GVK, GMR companies. We have seen Satyam, we've seen GTB. Yes, I would have missed Dr. Reddy. I have not ever been an investor in Dr. Reddy, but I have traded in Dr. Reddy. That's about all, I think. Maybe one or two more companies, maybe Divi's Lab, and that's about all. I don't have largely, to me, it's a no. If I find that the company is headquartered in Hyderabad and controlled in Hyderabad. Of course, if you could look at one exception being Coromandel, but I'm very clear that Coromandel I bought after I knew it was headquartered in Chennai. So before that, of course, it was an MNC, but then I had stayed away. I entered the company in 1986, by when I think it was already a Chennai managed company. I wanted to have rising dividend and increasing EPS. So if I take a 5-year or a 10-year track record of the company, I want the EPS to be increasing, and I want the dividends to be rising. So those are very important things. Strong barriers to entry, something like ITC. I used to be a shareholder of ITC simply because I felt a new cigarette company can't come, and even if they can come, they can't advertise. This is like saying you can come into life insurance, but you can't advertise. So LIC has that huge early mover advantage, and even after 20 years, I don't think their position has really been shaken much by the private sector players. So strong ROCE, strong RONW. If you are not earning more than the money that you're borrowing at, if you're borrowing at an X rate and you're not getting X plus return on that, something is wrong with you. I will not touch you. Solid growth prospects. So could I have sold Colgate to buy Nestle? Answer is yes. I have both Colgate and Nestle, so I have no cribs about that. But yes, there are times when I feel that Colgate is not growing enough. Nestle is growing better than Colgate. I also like companies with limited capital requirement for growth. So I love the fact that HDFC Bank, for example, has grown so much, where money is the raw material, and still they have not come with an rights issue continuously trying to raise money. Cholamandalam never came out with too many rights issues to raise money, right? So finance companies doing well, not asking for money again and again is a fantastic thing. So a company which can grow, which means it has enough free cash flows to grow without troubling the existing shareholders. To me, that is great. If I'm looking at a startup, then I have completely different criteria to look at, but then those are not in the listed space, so it doesn't really matter. Do they have reliable customers? That's why I love ITC, because the customers are such that you tell them, idiot, you will die of cancer. It doesn't bother him. He still comes and happily he will have his sutta and make sure that I get my dividend. So that's great. But just because the company treats me well, it does not mean I'll buy the share. I never bought and kept for a long time Jet Airways. I bought and sold. I traded in Jet Airways. I may have even traded in Kingfisher. But both companies to me never look like I should be owning them, even though I was a very happy customer, right? Hopefully no diversification by the group. So I don't like Larsen and Toubro because of the terrible diversifications which they would do. I may still have 600, 700 shares, but that's about all, or maybe a little more after the bonus. But no, not really a significant amount. I don't like SICK companies in the BIFR trying to come out and those kind of things. Those kind of things don't excite me at all. I get scared of these things. I leave it to the Vallabh Bansalis and the Rakesh Jhunjhunwalas to look for such companies and go from 1 rupee to 200 rupees. I am very happy going from 70 rupees to 200 rupees after I know that things have been fixed. So not too many companies pass through some of the following tests. Reasonable value of the business. First of all, the market cap, potential market cap, the increase and all should be reasonable. I would love it to be a value stock, but if it is a value trap, then I wouldn't know, so I don't bother too much. There are some people whom I know who will buy these shares. When they buy, I buy it. Beyond a particular point, I don't wait for more confirmations. As long as the market gives me the confirmation, I am happy. I'm not worried too much about the price of tomorrow. I'm very clearly worried about the price after 5 years or after 7 years. So the price of day after tomorrow doesn't really bother me. So I would happily buy a Tata Motor DVR and a Reliance instead of buying the fully paid share. So I would buy a partly paid Reliance instead of buying the fully paid Reliance, a DVR of Tata instead of Tata Motors instead of buying the equity share. Then sometimes I wait for the gap to narrow between what the market thinks and what I think, and sometimes halfway through I sell off, right? So then I also see whether the volume is good enough for me to do active trading in it. For example, Lakshmi Machine Works or LMW is not a great share to be trading in regularly. The price fluctuation is there, but the volumes may not justify buying and selling regularly. So no, so I wouldn't deal in that. But yes, I wouldn't mind owning the share. That's a different way to look at it. I have HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank, Cummins, Asian Paints, which are not really too much of value stock at any price, but now I don't think I have any Asian Paints left. Asian Paints is sold. I have Colgate, which is again lacking in growth. I have Siemens, which has underperformed over the last 2 years, but recently it has performed well. So this is old. 2015 it was underperforming, but this year I think it is doing very well. I have Tata Motor DVR, and I have to apologize for that. I've been asking many people to buy, and it has harmed my portfolio like anything. But I've sold off everything of Ashok Leyland. Reliance, I lost patience. I sold and then bought it back, and now recently sold at 1400 or 1500 rupees, and then I saw it going up to 2100. I really have no view on Reliance, but I have a few shares left, because I said I will not go to zero Reliance ever in my life. As long as I live, I will have it. Is it a retail company? Is it a telecom company? Difficult questions to answer, but yeah. Having rules like this is very useful, because once you have the rules, you know why you have the rules, how you live by the rules, etc. And if you do not like the rules, you will use this as a basis to change the rule, rather than saying all these rules are bad. All rules can never be bad. One can be bad, one can be good. So there are some good rules and bad rules. So we do not know. We are letting 2 people from the board take that decision. So that's it. Thank you.